Hi, I'm Dr. Tom Lewis, founder of Real Health Innovations and a medical scientist. I have credentials from the Harvard School of Public Health and a degree from MIT. And Real Health Innovations is all about health creation, particularly helping people prevent, slow, stop, or reverse the major conditions that affect our well-being and longevity, chronic conditions. So today I want to talk to you about the health of your bones. And we like to think of our bones as sort of some special case of our tissue that's independent of the rest of our body because it just provides structure. But our bones provide much more than just structure, which I'll go into. So we have to think about our bones as part of our entire structure and our entire physiology, and we must feed our bones to make our bones healthy and keep us healthy. So here's sort of the unknown link between bone health and total body health. It contributes to our immune system strength. So blood cells are synthesized in our bone marrow, and white blood cells are a major component of our immune system. It's a mineral reservoir. Sure, the minerals make the bone strong and provide us with structure, but it's also a reservoir for times, for example, in famine where you don't have food coming in, your heart needs calcium to beat, and if you don't have enough calcium coming in, your reservoir is there to supply the calcium you need to keep your heart beating. It's as simple as that. So blood cell production, nervous system function, the minerals are intimately involved in the firing of synapses. Insulin sensitivity, people don't appreciate that, but there are substances in our bones that stimulate insulin production and actually produce from energy metabolism and weight loss management, help produce a hormone called leptin, which is a hunger regulating hormone. And then of course muscle function is intimately tied to the minerals, and potassium, for example, and magnesium are involved in muscle contraction. So just 5 years ago, people didn't recognize the profound and intimate connection between bone health and whole body health. So this new hormone-like signaling substance called calcin is really involved in our health, because insulin sensitivity, that's the whole process that drives energy into our cells. And one very important component of that is the bones and osteocalcin and the production of leptin. So we need to take good care of our bones, and using artificial drugs to just strengthen the bones without an appreciation for what creates bone health is contrary to our good health. So here's just a quick list of drugs that can cause bone loss, falls, and fractures. Steroids like prednisone actually draw calcium artificially out of our bones. A process we don't want to have happen artificially. Blood thinners, particularly warfarin, also pull calcium out of our bones and place it in our soft tissue where we don't want it. Breast cancer drugs, prostate cancer drugs, prostate drugs in general, heartburn drugs, they all pull calcium from our bones. Heartburn drugs, Prilosec, the proton pump inhibitors, what these drugs do is they reduce the absorption of vital minerals into our system, therefore they're not bioavailable to go into our bones. Contraceptive drugs, the hormone, thyroid hormones, anti-seizure, mood-altering drugs, blood pressure meds, and diuretics that strip fluids out of our body, all are harmful to our bones. So the only solution we're giving people is take a bone strengthening drug. But now we're finding out that these drugs really are simply making the bones more brittle, not more robust and healthy. So we're seeing jaw bones breaking spontaneously on people that have been on these drugs for a long period of time. So now some recommendations are from physicians is that people should consider a holiday from these drugs like Fosamax. So next slide. So the FDA is even stepping in and saying that they are suggesting that people be careful about long-term use of these drugs. We're saying find out a better way to strengthen your bones. So here's what's happening. When you make your bones brittle, yeah, they may be stronger if we bend them. They don't break as easily. You have to put more strength, but our bone should really be supple, like a new stick that you, or a new limb that you pull off a tree where you can bend it and not break it. If I take that same stick a year later, Might be a little harder to bend a little bit, then it snaps. This is what we're seeing in women on long-term Fosamax and Boniva and Reclast spontaneously having their legs break. So what is the solution to your bone health? Is feed your bones. Your bones are tissue too. Every cell in your bone will turn over to a new cell in 3 to 7 years. So how do we do that? First of all, when you feed your bones, it's a win-win situation for your vessels as well. So calcium build up in your vessels is called hardening of the arteries. It's a vascular disease, and women who take in calcium through supplements have much more heart attacks and other vascular related conditions than women who don't, because the calcium is not going in their bones, it's building up in their vessels. So it's a very simple 1, 2, 3-step process to make sure the calcium you take in from your food, and you get plenty of calcium from your food, wind up not here, but here. Step 1, make sure you have enough vitamin D. Vitamin D grabs the calcium out of your gut and brings it into your blood vessels. The next step, step 2, is magnesium. A lot of people are magnesium deficient. Eat green vegetables. But that magnesium will take the calcium floating in our circulation and shuttle it into the bones. And step 3 is a very kind of underappreciated vitamin called vitamin K2. Now what vitamin K2 does is it chelates or grabs the calcium deposits in our vessels and brings it back into the circulatory system where the magnesium can then shuttle it into the bone. So it's a win-win-win. Vitamin D, magnesium, and vitamin K2. So let's look at a study on this. So here's results on those on micronutrient therapy. And what micronutrient means is the big 3, vitamin D, magnesium, K2, but also fish oils, because fish oils lower inflammation, and that just makes everything in our body work better. So we can see hip bone, femoral neck, and spine increase in bone density over time just on the micronutrient supply. The next slide shows that the people in the study on the placebo, in other words, we're not taking the micronutrients, they actually lost bone density. So we see that you can, with simple nutrients, feed your bones, and the mechanism is pretty straightforward and well understood. Now, the French have some of the lowest heart disease in the world, and they have a lot of vitamin K2 in their food supply and the healthy, robust cheeses they eat. And this book talks about the paradox, whereas if you take K2, the calcium is stripped from your vessels where you don't want it and put into your bones. It's a very simple concept. So calcium, I don't want to underplay the importance of calcium, but it's in our food supply. We don't need to supplement it. It's critically important to health, but most of us get enough from diet. Calcium needs certain nutrients, cofactors, to be delivered into the bones. The cofactors, vitamin D, magnesium, vitamin K2, strontium, boron is also in that, but you can get that by using sea salt rather than a processed salt. K2 is particularly important, and if you look at the heart disease rates in France, you'll see that K2 is one of the key ingredients to the health of the French and their hearts, because the calcium is pulled out of the vessels rather. And certain drugs, warfarin, Coumadin, pull calcium out of the bones. It winds up in the soft tissue. That's not good. Increasing calcium absorption into the bone by obtaining the key cofactors in your diet or by supplementation in the case of vitamin D is a win-win. I'm Dr. Tom Lewis. Real Health Innovations is all about providing you with information and tools to prevent, slow, or reverse chronic diseases. I hope you found this video interesting. Thank you very much.